Without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers. A very warm good evening and a hearty welcome to the webinar on What Can We Do with a Math Degree, combinedly organized by the Department of Mathematics, St. Aloysius College, and the Department of Mathematics, St. Thomas College. Let us start the program with a silent prayer. Now I invite Dr. Vijayam, the coordinator of today's program and Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, St. Thomas College, for the welcome speech.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, all. If I were again beginning my studies, I would follow the advice of Plato and start with mathematics. This is a quote by Galileo Galilei, who need no introduction. Hearty welcome to all to the webinar on What Can We Do with a Math Degree? We know that mathematics is the queen of all sciences, for it is a tool which solves problems of every other branches of science, so that mathematics should nourish in future also. For otherwise, the growth of all the branches will freeze. And dear students, the future of mathematics is in your hands. So you should realize the importance of mathematics and what all things you can do with a math degree. It is this thought which led us, the departments of mathematics in St. Thomas and St. Aloysius colleges, to organize this webinar. And we have the most appropriate person here to lead the discussion, Dr. Vijayakumar, famous graph theorist and Emeritus Professor from Cochin University of Science and Technology. Personally speaking, he is my teacher. Without any doubt, I can say that looking into the public perceptiveness of maths teachers in Kerala, he will be in the first position because he is that much involved in promoting mathematics and activities related to that. With immense pleasure, I welcome you, sir, to this webinar.
Thank you.
We have Dr. Chakojos P., the principal of St. Aloysius College, Elthuruth, here with us to inaugurate this program. From my co-coordinator, Mr. Jason Jacob, I have understood that Chakosa is a source of constant motivation for them. I welcome you, sir, to this webinar wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Thank you.
A warm welcome to all the faculty members of St. Aloysius and St. Thomas Colleges, especially to Dr. Saju M.I., Head of the Department of Mathematics of St. Thomas College, Thrissur, who is here to deliver the presidential address. The success of every program is the participants. I'm sure that all of you will have a fruitful session ahead. Also, I want to tell you that if you are interested, without any hesitation, you may choose mathematics as your mainstream. Mathematics will provide you opportunities for higher studies, research, as well as career. For the past 3 years, I am working as the joint convener of placement cell in St. Thomas College, Thrissur. We have a fairly good record of placements here. Almost 40% of the outgoing students are already placed in various reputed companies. What I want to point out is that most of the companies coming here give their first requirement as we need students with mathematics background. So in mathematics, your future will be bright. Once again, I welcome you all to this webinar. Make it fruitful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let me invite Dr. Chakojos P., Principal, St. Aloysius College, Elthuruth, for the inaugural address.
Thank you. I hope I am audible. Dr. A. Vijayakumar, Emeritus Professor, Department of Mathematics, Cochin University of Science and Technology. Dr. Saju M.I., Head of the Department of Mathematics, St. Thomas College, Thrissur. Lieutenant Jason Jacob, Head of the Department of Mathematics, St. Aloysius College, Elthuruth, Dr. VGM, Coordinator of the program, and my dear friends. I'm extremely happy to be in this program due to various reasons. One is the two departments of two colleges in Kerala, in Thrissur city, coming together to offer a seminar which is of very much relevant today. The reason is students are now confused as they are bombarded with a number of new courses, and they are seeking information as to what can be done with a conventional degree in mathematics. And associating with St. Thomas College Department of Mathematics is always the joyful experience for me, because I started my higher education mathematics study through the Department of Mathematics of St. Thomas College as a pre-degree student. And again, collaborating with the mathematics department is again joyful for me, because as most of you might be knowing, there is a close link between economics and mathematics. And personally, when I was working for the last 26 years at the Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, I was teaching more mathematical economics and mathematical applications of economics rather than theoretical papers of economics. So it's always joyful to see a seminar like this, where students will get a lot of information from one of the most significant resource person available in our region. I have read, though I was a student at Cochin University for my MPhil and PhD, and I have seen Professor Vijayakumar, but I never got a chance to listen to his lectures. But later, when I went through the literature, I was really happy to see his efforts in popularizing mathematics. So the participants are very much lucky to have such a renowned resource person for this program. I don't want to take his precious time, so I conclude by announcing that, with your permission, I'm happy to inaugurate this function, and I wish all the very best to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I invite Dr. Saju M.I., Head of the Department of Mathematics, St. Thomas College, Thrissur, for the presidential address.
Good evening, respected Dr. A. Vijayakumar, Professor, Cochin University of Science and Technology, our resource person of the day. Respected Dr. Chako Jose, Principal of St. Aloysius College, Elthuruth. Coordinators of this program, Lieutenant Jason Jacob, HOD, Department of Maths, St. Aloysius College. Dr. Vijayam, Senior Faculty, Department of Maths. Faculty members, students, and my dear friends. We are here to discuss about the role of mathematics in various aspects of our daily life. Mathematics has a great role in the field of technology and its development. Mathematics has a vital role in cyber security. Our department has a research wing in the area of cryptography. One of the major issues faced by our students is the lack of interest in choosing mathematics as the core subject. Dear students, this webinar aims to provide an awareness among you on the importance and scope of having a degree in mathematics and a fruitful career. I hope you will have a great time. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With immense happiness, I welcome the resource person of the day, Dr. A. Vijayakumar, Emeritus Professor, Department of Mathematics, CUSAT, for the keynote address.
Thank you and good evening to all of you. I'm extremely happy to talk in an event organized by two of my former students. Dr. Vijay and Lieutenant Jason, belonging to St. Thomas College and St. Aloysius College. So thanks to them and also to my other friends in the faculty of both these colleges. I will be very informal in the sense that the forum is open for clearing your doubts and questions. I have twofold objective for this webinar. One is to unfold the beauty of mathematics and showcase some excitements and its applications in some unexpected areas. I underline the word unexpected areas. You can expect the application of mathematics in physics because most of the problems in physics, mathematics have been motivated by problems in physics. I'm not going to touch anything of that sort. And the other objective is to introduce various new branches inspired by secure communication, climate change, epidemiology, brain research, and so on, that have evolved recently from which you can choose a career. So these are the 2 points that I would like to stress in this discussion. So about 70% I will tell you what is mathematics these days, and then take you to some areas which are new, relatively new, and some courses based on which you can further choose your career, and some institutions where you can have these courses. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure. So what do you see there?
What can we do with a math degree?
Do you see the beautiful mathematics building?
Yes.
Indian flag?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So that means that the system is on. As I mentioned earlier, I am in Cochin University for the past 44 years in different forms. First as a master's student and the other as a research scholar and then again faculty. I retired in 2018 and I am now an Emeritus Professor. So this is the beautiful mathematics building. And I always begin my talk by paying homage to a very inspiring teacher and a true Indian, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The quote that I have taken today for you is simple. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future. So to change your future, the only way is to change your habits. That is the message that Dr. Kalam gives here. I welcome you all to CUSAT. CUSAT is young at 50, and I've been there for the last 44 years. Therefore, whatever I have gained is from Cochin University. So university and myself grew together. That's what I wanted to tell. There's no meaning in starting a lecture without paying tributes to a natural genius, again a true Indian, Srinivasa Ramanujan, whose biography has been written in the book, The Man Who Knew Infinity, A Life of the Genius Ramanujan, by an MIT professor, Robert Kanigal, who is not a mathematician, he is a mechanical engineer. This book has been translated to several Indian languages as decided by the then Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2012. And the second language that in which it was published is Malayalam. 2 editions have come. One is Anandate Arinya Al, and the other is Anandam Endan Arinyad. And I was fortunate enough to be the technical consultant of this book. Therefore, I knew more about Srinivasa Ramanujan. In fact, this talk is motivated by these 2 posters of the American Mathematical Society. the left one. It is what can I do with a math degree? The other is from internet. Why should I learn mathematics? So there are several openings for a mathematician. And unfortunately, most of the students that I have seen do not know what are the different areas, different careers that you can build up in after taking a degree in mathematics. Unless you know the foundations and fundamentals of mathematics, you will not be able to go for higher studies, whatever be the branch of study that you want to specialize. So if you look at the left one, you are seeing some epidemiologist, forensic analyst, actuary, urban designer. On the right, we find meteorologist, architect, climatologist, astronaut, astronomer, accountant, inventory strategist, environmental mathematician, and whatnot. So I will touch upon some of these topics in detail, and I will try to conclude with some career options. Let me tell you that the teachers are blessed in the sense that this is a WhatsApp message that I got a couple of days ago. The opinion of Edgar Dale, an educationist. We remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 80% of what we personally experience, and 95% of what we teach others. So we are blessed with this profession, and the purpose of engaging such seminars is to see that we get, remembered about the concepts. Now, in this slide, we have Bertrand Russell, Galileo Galilei, Pythagoras, and the great Albert Einstein, all of them saying something positive about mathematics. What the Nobel laureate Bertrand Russell, British philosopher, says is that mathematics, rightly viewed, possesses not only truth, but supreme beauty, a beauty cold and austere like that of sculpture. What Galileo Galilei told was the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. And the famous quote of the great Pythagoras is, there is geometry in the humming of the strings, there is music in the spacing of the spheres. So interconnecting geometry and music. And great Albert Einstein, again Nobel laureate physicist, says that pure mathematics is in its way the poetry of logical ideas. So having been in mathematics for last several years, now these days I am confused as to whether mathematics is science or art. You can debate on this. In fact, is mathematics art or science? Or is mathematics natural or man-made? We can have another forum for discussion of these things. If you look at the World Wide Web, AMS.org, AMS stands for American Mathematical Society. There are plenty of links to get such posters. So this is another poster which relates mathematics and music. And again, learning music improves math skills because at some level, all music is mathematics. Performing music, therefore, reinforces parts of the brain used when doing math. This is an unexpected contribution of musicians to enrich the field of mathematics. And you see a person, I'm not going to mention who is this. If you have an answer, you can post it in the chat box. But one thing which I wanted to tell you is, okay, I cannot avoid telling his name. Beethoven, his 10th symphony is unfinished, incomplete, all of you know. But using the machine learning and artificial intelligence, computer science is going to complete the 10th symphony of Beethoven. That is the most recent revolutionary research that is taking place in mathematics and computer science. Mathematics and sports, the particular angle and particular speed with which you have to spin the cricket ball or football or whatever it is. And this is a branch of mathematics which connects botany and mathematics, which is called phyllotaxy, which studies the arrangement of leaves on a plant stem. And all these things which I wanted to tell you was the interlink or interdisciplinary aspect of mathematics, or mathematics being hidden in these areas of knowledge. I'm sure that there are students who are attending this course. So I want to put in a sense of self-confidence in them. That is what we lack in the students. They feel that they don't have the potential to become whatever they want to. If that is the case, I want to showcase two personalities. One is my own hero, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who was rejected in the interview of pilot. And you know, he became a missile man, designing at least 5 Indian missiles. On the right, you find Abraham Lincoln, who was the 16th President of the United States. In his bio, you see defeated, failed, nervous breakdown, defeated, etc. And finally getting elected as the President of the United States in 1860. So in the life of, or in the bio sketch of every human being, you will see failures. But if you are going to lose confidence by just because you are a failure, you can never succeed. So this is the message which I want to tell to my students. Now, if you look at Wikipedia, you say that mathematics is the study of topics such as quantity, numbers, structure, space, and change. And what I am going to convince you is that it is not that all mathematics, and there are plenty of things which do not form in this category, but definitely it is mathematics. Now, what did I do yesterday was, I made a Google search of St. Aloysius College first. I got 15,800 results in 0.45 seconds by giving the keyword St. Aloysius College, Elthuruth in the Google search. I got a lot of information from that. I knew that it's a college under University of Calicut, which I already know, and many other things. I Googled at the same time St. Thomas College, Thrissur. I got 1,60,000 results in 0.48 seconds. And my question is not about why the difference of figures and all that. I just wanted to tell you or ask you, how did Google get this information within 0.45 seconds and 0.48 seconds? Number one. Or essentially, how does Google? And the other one is, if you are going to ask the same query, after a few minutes, you are going to get more results in less time. What is behind this? So let us see the Larry Page, the chief executive of Google and also former CEO of Alphabet, who is the 6th wealthiest person in the world, and the designer of Google PageRank algorithm. So there is mathematics behind the Google search, linear algebra, matrices, graph theory, probability theory, and whatnot. The whole analysis is based on an algorithm called PageRank algorithm. You are going to rank the web pages, and the algorithm is due to Larry Page. PageRank is an algorithm used by Google to rank web pages in their search engine results. There is a Google metrics involved, which is a stochastic metrics. My friend Jason is there. He will be happy to see the word stochastic. It's time dependent, and it's a probability metric. Therefore, sum of the rows and columns is going to be 1. And the matrix represents a graph with edges representing links between pages. So whole of graph theory and probability theory and computer science and whatnot is required to determine the Google metrics rank and the PageRank algorithm. The underlying assumption is that of Matthew's effect, is that more important websites are likely to receive more links from other websites. This is what's called the power law in such distributions. I'm not going to touch upon this, but you'll be happy to see that Holy Bible enters there. Holy Bible, Matthew 25:29 says that, for to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. This is the comments of the great social scientist Robert Merton, an American sociologist, who has written an article on Matthew effect in science. In fact, I have written an article in Malayalam about this. Those who are interested, you can email me, I can send you. Matthew's effect in science written in Malayalam. This is an article in 1968. Now let us go to something interesting because it's dinner time. This is a message which I got in my WhatsApp a couple of days ago of an Indian student going to US and asking for a pizza, 9-inch pizza. Now pizza is interesting because pizza is served in a rectangular box. Its shape is circular, and you eat in cutting it in triangles. Okay, so 9-inch pizza means the radius of the pizza is 9 inches. So the waiter told that I don't have 9-inch pizza, but instead I will give you 2 5-inch pizzas. But the guy was not happy. He said, I am not taking the order, I am going away. So my question to all the, in fact, particularly students is, it is 2 5-inch pizzas too, it makes 10, isn't it? So normally you opt for it, but the point is what we are going to eat is covering the pizza, which is circular shaped with the radius 9. So pi r square is the area, total area. So it is pi into 81 pi. And if you add 2 5-inch pizzas, it is just 50 pi. So the message that I would like to give it to you is that the difference between 9 and 5 is just 4. But between 9 square, which is 81, and 5 square, which is 25, is very high. Even if you add one more 25, it is 50. I suppose the point is clear. I shall repeat. Difference between 9 and 5 is only 4, but 9 square and 2 into 5 square, the difference is more. We cube it, it is much more. So just I want to show with a simple example the power of the power. Okay. Now let's go to some historical aspects. How old is mathematics? It is at least 20,000 years ago. Old, prehistoric, Babylonian, Greek, Roman, Chinese, Indian. The Kerala School of Mathematics, which was there in the North Kerala between Thrissur, Aloysius, and so on. That's what's called the golden age of Indian mathematics. And the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, which you follow now, and the Abjad numeral system. I want to spend a second here because what you see is 786. What you see in the front gate of a mosque is nothing but the numerical equivalent in the Abjad numeral system of the first sentence in the Holy Quran, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of God, most merciful and benevolent. If you attach one alphabet with one number and you add up all these numbers in Abjad numeral system, which I will show you in a second, you get that 786 is equivalent to Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. So Arabic alphabet is, first one is Alif, and second is Be, Zim, Dal, Ha, etc. You give one value for Abjad value for each alphabet. You add up all these, what you get is the Abjad numeral equivalent of the English sentence or Arabic sentence. Okay. Fine. So what I'm going to is slightly technical in the sense that it's also motivated by day-to-day usage of your WhatsApp. WhatsApp message, when you open the WhatsApp, you see that the messages are end-to-end encrypted. So there is perfect secrecy, hopefully, from the receiver and the sender, and nobody else can see. The mathematics behind this encryption and decryption is nothing but a branch of mathematics called cryptography. So converting the plain text to ciphertext is called cryptography, and from ciphertext to plain text is what's called cryptanalysis, and the entire branch is what's called cryptology, which find applications in almost every secure communication, starting from your ATM pin to almost all analysis in the defense. The message just has to be secure, so we have to encrypt and decrypt. Encryption can be done by whoever sends it, but decryption should be done only by those person to whom the message or signal is intended. So there are famous characters like Alice and Bob. So plain text is encrypted with a key. It becomes a ciphertext. So again, Bob opens with his key, and the plain text can be, the ciphertext can be made into a plain text. Okay. So behind all these things is what's called the information theory, thanks to Claude Shannon, an American engineer. We have information theory, which is about 60, 70 years old. Another branch of secure transmission of message is what's called coding theory. To find, even if there are some errors that occurred during the transmission can be corrected. There is a great Indian contribution under the code name BCH, Bose Chowdhury, and the French mathematician Hockengam. This is one of the very sensitive coding pattern that we are going to use in defense. You know, the Mangalyaan, the Mars orbiter mission, uses basic coding theory, and mathematics required is linear algebra and probability theory. I will give you some examples of those things which you are going to use in coding in day-to-day life. You are all familiar with the QR codes, Q corresponds codes, and you know only those circled areas should be scanned, then only the scanning will take place. To be frank, I don't know which is the code that is used in these QR codes. I searched several places and asked some people, I didn't get an answer. If I get an answer, I will get back to you later. So what is the coding scheme that is used in these QR codes is to be known, I don't know. If you look at the real world applications of coding, one is the Apollo 11 moon landing. Something happened on July 20, 1969, in the lunar module Eagle. At one point of time, there was a confusion in the mission control as to whether we can go ahead or don't go. But with the wonderful computer programming of Margaret Hamilton, this is the lady Margaret Hamilton and her team, they told the astronauts to proceed. So you see that there is a tremendous mathematics involved. Not only that, there are women who are involved in the first level itself. The other is the Alan Turing's Enigma machine in the World War II. And Alan Turing was responsible in encoding and decoding the Enigma, which could play a pivotal role in ending World War II earlier than what was expected. Another coding application comes in facial recognition doorbells, determining which faces belong to who through what is called the machine learning, which is a very buzzword these days in computer science. Other is what is called self-driving cars using a combination of light detection and ranging sensors. Again, machine learning plays a key role in helping computers in self-driving cars recognize things like lane lines and pedestrians and more. So these are all going to come in about 5 to 10 years, already there in some part of the world. Now, something interesting, if you can read this. In fact, all the words are wrongly spelled, but there is no, the first alphabet and the last alphabets are fixed. So you are able to read this. I will read just one sentence. All of you can read yourself. If you can read this, you have a strange mind too. Can you read this? So the surprising situation is, how is this possible? It's possible just because this is in English, and our brain is encoded with correct English, and therefore, even if there are mistakes in the spelling, your first alphabet and the last alphabet is going to fix the correctness of the word. So, for example, if I tell you, which I usually tell in my class, if I say, if I am saying that I am going to kill you with a gut, I know that what you hear is I am going to kill you with a gun, because your brain automatically encodes and decodes. Because there is no gut, I cannot kill you, I can only kill you. So the brain detects one error and corrects one error. This is basically the coding theory. Okay. There is no Nobel Prize, so mathematics is called the queen of all sciences, but there is an analog equivalent prize called Fields Medal. This is the Fields Medal, and what you see here as the head is head of whom. You can give the answer in the chat box. I will come back to the answer later. My question is, whose head appears in the Fields Medal? I have to be specific about Mariam Mirzakhani, great tribute to that wonderful lady, who was the first woman mathematician and Iranian mathematician to get Fields Medal. But unfortunately, she passed away at the age of 40 on 14th July 2017. I was fortunate enough to attend this Congress at Madrid, and I could see all the four, but met Manjul Bhargava in particular. And her birthday, which is 12th May, is declared as International Women in Math Day. And I would be happy if this St. Aloysius and St. Thomas organizes International Women's Day at least next year, May 12th. But this year something great happened. Another Ukrainian mathematician, Marina Vyazkovska, who is just 38 years old, getting the Fields Medal. So she is technically the second woman in the world and the first Ukrainian mathematician to get the Fields Medal. You know, the international contest of mathematicians where the Fields Medals are awarded was to be held in St. Petersburg, Russia. But international mathematical community stood behind Ukraine and cancelled that ICM. But instead it was done online from Finland, Helsinki. So this lady, Mariana, got it. And usually 4 people get it, and the others are James, June, and Hugo, who are from different institutions. They also got the Fields Medal. Now coming something to nature, mathematics in nature. This is a famous picture all of you know. There are flowers. So my advice to all my young friends is that whenever now you see a flower, don't just smell it, plus count the petals also. Okay, don't just smell the flower, but count the petals. You will see that almost all flowers have either 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 petals. But I don't say that there is no flower with 9 or 10 petals. There are, but there are less number of such flowers. You see 1.618, which is golden ratio in your face everywhere. In particular, about the distance between the big tooth and the other one, the distance should be 1.618 to make it more beautiful. This is what cosmetologists to do. So my conclusion is mathematics is everywhere. There is no escape. Whether it is entertainment industry, as in Bahubali or Titanic, or computational neuroscience, or artificial intelligence, or mathematical endoscopy, or mathematical oncology, mathematics is everywhere, and there is no escape at all. So one proof is that there is a book on mathematical oncology. You expect differential equations playing a role because cancer is the study of change that is taking place in your cells. This is another mathematics that is coming by just handshaking. You are not supposed to handshake these days. That's what I say. I hear no shake hands. So when you shake hands, you are becoming friends, and friendship networks grows. Several people shake hands, you get a friendship network, also chemical network and whatnot. So basically, I'm taking you to the network theory or graph theory, but I'm not going to discuss much on this. But I will take what is the case of Facebook, which is a network with 22.7 billion monthly active users. Okay, and people are finding that they are the best friends in the Facebook. What is the basic rule? Friend of a friend of a friend is a friend. Okay, so I need not be a friend with anyone attending this course, but I can make friendship with either Vijay or Jason. So that is the Facebook mathematics. The basic principle is friend of a friend is also a friend. So I am going to connect a person A with the person B by a chain of friendships. That is the basic logic of Facebook. Same thing happens in the brain network. So there are several mathematics that is more inspired by such research. Brain is more a mathematical object than the physiological object now. I like my brain because I have started doing something with my brain on brain networks. So the brain networks is 86 billion. 1 billion is 10 raised to 9 neurons, and they keep on interacting with other neurons using synapses, all you know from biology. But not all neurons get connected, and each neuron can get connected only to maximum 7,000 other neurons. Therefore, the matrix corresponding to the brain network is going to be a sparse matrix in the sense that there are more zeros, there are no connection between some neurons, but only very few. Therefore, mathematically, graph theoretically, this is a structure which can be easily analyzed. So I have written an article on Mastishkam, this brain and mathematics in Malayalam. The mathematics here is mathematics of the flow. Differential equation takes place. So this is the mathematics of nature. Okay, I make a break here. Break in the sense 1 second. I just want to take you away from mathematics, general knowledge. Can you? My question is, can't you identify them? Especially in Kerala, you should be able to identify. In particular, I am interested. Again, you can give me your answer. I am interested in knowing whether you know this gentleman. Definitely know Malala Yousafzai. You know Kapil Dev, Srijesh, Jayendran, and so all these people. You are all excited to know that you know many of them, most of them, isn't it? Your Srisant is there, P.T. Usha is there, Vailar is there. But my next slide may, worry you or make you desperate. This is what I'm asking. Can you identify these people? Unfortunately, they are all mathematicians, and I'm very likely you can answer this in your chat box. I'm not going to tell the answers. There is a lady there. In particular, if you are going to mention the name of this lady without going to the internet, I will give you some gifts later whenever we meet. Okay, so that is my challenge. Okay, this I'm not taking because I want to go to something else. Okay. So in 1623, the famous Galileo Galilei, Italian physicist, remarked that philosophy is written in this grand book, Nature, and written in the language of mathematics, and its characters are triangles, circles, and other geometric figures. But to say that a great philosopher is wrong, we need another philosopher, because there is a paradox in the nature. Nature is not smooth. Phenomena in nature is not smooth. There is roughness in nature, and your geometry now present will not be able to measure the roughness. Only I can do is measure the smoothness. So this is a famous quote from a great fractal geometer, topologist, Benoit Mandelbrot, who says that mountains are not cones and spheres are not, clouds are not spheres. Coastal line is not a straight line. It's a curve seen in a map, but have kinks and wiggles. Therefore, to measure the length of the coastal line or to measure the surface area of a mountain, your good old geometry will not help. So you can ask the question, what is the length of a coastal line? Then comes the great idea of a fractal, which has a property called of self-similarity. And the classic example that I have showed is, to show that math is beautiful, I have taken the picture of Mandelbrot set, and I will show you the great Mandelbrot. It is just like Lulu Mall. You get everything there. So this gentleman, I was fortunate enough to shake hands with gentleman in Madrid again in 2006. He was professor of economics in Harvard, engineering in Yale.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir.
പറയൂ.
ബ്രേക്ക് ആയിരുന്നുണ്ടോ ഇടയിൽ?
ഇപ്പൊ ഓക്കെ അല്ലേ?
ഓക്കെ ആണ് സർ.
Okay. So engineering in Yale, medicine and physiology in Einstein School of Medicine. He's a professor in IBM Thomas Watson Center for 35 years. He got Wolf Prize. It's all in one. Okay. And according to me, he's a great mathematician. How could that one person be an expert or a professor of various subjects seemingly different? The underlying principle is that of nonlinear dynamics or chaos theory, or which is what's called fractals. So fractals appear in river networks, mountains, coastal lines, etc. So these are all fractals in nature. Your lung is a fractal. But unfortunately, you cannot ask this question in university examination. Prove that lungs is a fractal. You cannot answer. Okay. It requires a great proof. So physicists and mathematicians are working towards it. Tree is a fractal. Leaf is a fractal. And broccoli is also a fractal. Fractals finds applications in medicine. So if you take an expertise in fractals theory, it's up to you to become a medical doctor and do for diabetic retinopathy in particular, because diabetic retinopathy creates a fractal neural system than the ordinary normal retina, and that's where the fractal imaging or fractal applications in medicine comes. The human retina has a complex vascular network having a fractal structure. Diabetic retinopathy is damage to the blood vessels of the retina and cause blindness in people with diabetes. Therefore, this is one applications of fractals or mathematics in diabetic retinopathy. This is another thing what's called butterfly effect. You know that you are not able to predict the climate analysis just because there is a butterfly effect. Recently, I heard some ministers from Kerala talking that we have butterfly effect. Okay, so flapping of butterflies' wings over Brazil might cause a tornado over Texas, which is about 3,000 kilometers away. You know, these days you have what is called Megha Vispodanam, okay, in Malayalam. Just like rain coming, just like you are pouring from a bucket. There is no rain 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers away from your place. All these things happens because we cannot predict or we cannot say with accurate data that rain is possible. And if you look at the predictions of Sir Arthur Eddington, the famous meteorologist physicist, it's an interesting prediction made in 1928 for 1999. 2 plus 2 will still be equal to 4. No prediction is needed. A total eclipse of the sun on Wednesday, August 11 is possible. And in 1999, it happened. And what is more important is that we will not be able to forecast the weather for the year ahead, even if you have a supercomputing facility. So believe me, my dear friends and students, if any climate analysis person says that you are going to have a rain in Thrissur after 1 week, don't believe that. There is no system, there is no computational power to look at the weather forecasting for more than 3 or 5 days. Okay. Fine. If you look at the mathematical models, there's a famous statement by G.E.P. Fox, a statistician, who says that all models are wrong, but some are useful. For epidemiology, you are going to use network science, oncology, differential equation, cosmetology, wavelets, brain diseases, network science and fractals, diabetic retinopathy, fractals, Google search, linear algebra, and graph theory. So I cannot avoid but talking about the SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome 2, which came to us, all of us, in 1919. But the mathematical model to tackle, to predict and look at the extent by which this has spread, believe me, it is the famous SIR model, which was used in the tackling of malaria by Ronald Ross, for which he got Nobel Prize in Medicine. So corona, the shape of this corona is there. I would have given a talk on why coronavirus shape is shown like this, but I would require some more time. So basically, it is a mathematical modeling of infectious diseases, which is a compartmental models. You require differential equation models. So the whole population is assigned to compartments like susceptible, infectious, or recovered. So compartmental model with 3 compartments. Every human being is either susceptible. Susceptible means you are prone to get corona. Infectious means you are already getting corona and you are going to spread it. And recovered means you are happy that there is no problem after becoming infectious. So you will also know why we should use mask, face mask. Why we are not using mask for our ears? Why not? The reason is that the highest potential for rapid pandemic spread comes from usually transmitted via droplets. And the moment the droplets are going out of your mouth and nose, its dynamics cannot be predicted at all. I suppose the message is clear. The dynamic patterns by which these droplets are going to spread in the atmosphere cannot be predicted. That's why we are asking people to use masks. This is a typical diagram of compartmentalizing human being to immunized, not immunized, immunized, and this is what happens. So all blue, which is not immunized but still healthy, and red, which is not immunized, sick and contagious, finally becoming yellow, which is immunized and healthy thanks to the vaccination. Can mathematical modeling solve the current COVID-19 crisis? I don't have a one-word answer. You should use all types of models to tackle COVID-19, one model cannot do. I'm not sure whether 10 minutes. Jason or Vijay, how much time do I have?
10 minutes. You have some 10-20 minutes you can go on, sir.
Oh, 20 minutes is big time.
No, actually 10 minutes is enough. If you want to continue, then it's okay.
I may take 5 minutes more.
Okay, okay, sir.
Because I want to talk about big data analysis.
Okay, okay. Very good, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So this really happened to me. I went to Taipei a couple of years ago, but I had a, Android phone with me. Repeat, I had an Android phone with me, not an ordinary phone. Therefore, when I was going to Taipei, on the day of my return, I got a message from Google saying that my flight to Singapore is on time and there is no traffic jam on my route from my hotel to the airport, and hence I need leave my hotel only at 11 a.m. My simple questions to my dear friends is, how did Google know about my trip to Taiwan? Maybe my family people may know, or at the most my travel agent may know, but how come that the Google know, and about also my travel schedule? So I wonder whether I lost all my privacy. After all, is there any complete privacy? No. There is absolutely no system where you can assure complete privacy. So what Google in this here did was, Google had gathered data from emails exchanged about the flights along with GPS, global positioning system, and Google Map coordinates to find the location of my smartphone, and real-time data from the airlines based data on the flight's delay. This is typically the application of an exciting branch of mathematics and computer science and statistics, what's called the big data analytics. So the data is huge, of the order of ZB, zettabyte. Your pen drive is GB or KB like that. And what you are going to tackle is, the unit is ZB, which is 10 raised to 21. So big data analytics, the volume and variety of data being generated using computers is doubling every 2 years. So zettabytes comes into picture. Mostly unstructured data such as emails, blogs, Facebook posts, images, etc. So that is what's called the big data. So we need mathematics and computer science to capture, store, and analyze this big data, which has got high volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. There is a beautiful book by Watson, Big Data Analytics 2014, and you can get more information about this. I'll take you a simple example of what is happening in the Indian railway system. IRCTC, the Indian Railway, is a huge network with 8,500 trains per day, more than 7,000 major stations, 20 million passengers traveling per day, with about 2.5 lakhs reservations per day. Complicated allocation of reserved seats, VIP, lady, emergency, disabled, Tapkal, etc. RAC, reservation against cancellation, wait list. So prediction of confirmation of wait list or RAC to the actual normal case is extremely difficult. But what the Indian railway system uses is machine learning and big data analysis to see that your wait list ticket could be confirmed, and they are able to tell you that your waitlist ticket is confirmed. Big amount of big data analysis and machine learning is used. So I've written an article on the application of big data analytics in Lakshan Karyangal. It is about ticket, train booking, etc., which I mentioned here. So this is in Malayalam. The point is, can big data analysis lead to big cures, especially the dreaded cancer? Can big data analysis use its medical techniques to predict whether there is a possibility of a patient getting cancer? This I am not touching. I am not going to. So I need only 10 minutes now. The basic question is, what would you like to be? It is not me or your parents who should decide that what you should become. If you decide to become what you want to become, there are people to help you to reach your destination. So welcome to CUSAT. After BSc Mathematics, you have MSc Mathematics, Statistics, Oceanography, Forensic Science, Meteorology, Data Science, MCA, MBA. So if you take a BSc in Mathematics, there are 8 or 9 courses in CUSAT alone for which you can join for Masters. We have an integrated program in photonics, mathematics, statistics, chemistry, and biology. If you want to choose a career in meteorology, science of atmosphere, Government of India gives a lot of positions for mathematicians. So Indian Meteorology Department, Ministry of Earth Sciences, I want to development of weather and ocean-based decision support system, and also atmospheric modeling, programming using NCL, R, Perl, Python, grads, etc. And you should also be an expert in plotting scientific data. So mathematics, physics, and chemistry required for oceanography, the study of chemical processes taking place in the oceans like temperature, salinity, current speed, chemical components, etc. We have National Institute of Oceanography in Goa and Kochi, CSIR. And we are offering a course in MSc Oceanography and MSc Meteorology. If you look at the defense organization in Kerala, Naval Physical Oceanographic Laboratory, which is just near Cochin University, you require mathematicians. Recently, they have advertised for mathematicians and engineers. New branch of mathematics is mathematical psychology, to look at the psychological research which based on mathematical modeling of thought process, cognition, motoring, etc. Psychonomics, it's a blend of psychology and economics that aims at discovering the laws of that govern the working of the mind. Psychology. Mathematical oncology and big data analytics, which I already told you. Defense science, you have courses in defense science in Darjeeling and other northern India. What I would like to focus is the actuarial science, a new career option for mathematics and statistics students to become an actuary. So what is actuary? Wherever there is a financial risk, if you look at the LIC, for example, if you want to take a policy in LIC, the first thing that you're going to do is to check whether you are physically fine. So if you take a new policy at the age of 80, they won't, Life Insurance Corporation will not give you a policy because your health is under trouble. So employs different statistical and mathematical methods to assess the quantum of financial risk. And that branch of mathematics or stats is what's called actuarial science. So when you want to make a life insurance policy, they take a analysis of several aspects of your health and so on. So that branch of study is what's called actuarial science. There are several careers in banking sector, stock exchange, risk management center, pension funds, financial services, etc. with a good mathematics or commerce degree in actuarial science for careers. If anyone can guess what is this great institution, you please give me the answers in the chat box. That's specifically, that's why I didn't mention the title. It's a huge institution, great institution, proud to be in India. So India's best top ranking, world ranking comes with the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Madras. Cochin University is coming around 61 in the NIRF ranking. Okay. You have Chennai Mathematical Institute, Kerala School of Mathematics, Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi, and the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, Chennai, for pursuing a career in mathematics, computer science, biology, and theoretical physics. Okay, they are all same as far as higher end is concerned. There is no difference between mathematical biology and mathematics. That's what I convinced you. Thank you all and all the best. I think I am on time. So now the forum is open for discussion. I will come out of this.
Thank you, sir. Next is the time for the interactive section. Participants can clear their doubt.
Those who were sleeping, good morning. Okay. Fine. So questions are welcome. There are answers in the chat box also. It is welcome. I asked a couple of questions. I don't remember what I asked. One was why, whose head appears in the Fields Medal, and why, and many other questions.
Those who are watching the webinar in YouTube, they can post their questions in the chat box there.
Yeah, there is a question from Dharam. I didn't read the name.
Dharmendra Singh.
Jason, can you please repeat the question?
Yes,
lost
sir. Sir, am I audible to? Am I audible? Am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. There's a question from Mr. Dharmendra Singh. He was asking what are the options after PhD as a researcher, and he also want to know about the age boundaries. That is like, should one have to after retirement, whether one can do something like that?
Yes, people say that age is a number, but there are some problem with that number, especially with those who want to have a permanent job, conventional job. But if you are learning courses online, that's where Indian system is to be changed. I know that in the GNO, anyone can learn at any age. So distance PhD online, the what's called distance education, PhD is not approved. And in the Cochin University, there is only university, that is IGNOU, whose degrees are approved or recognized for courses in Cochin University. So there is a problem. But nowadays, people are joining for online courses. And there are plenty of combinations also, like mathematics, music, and architecture. Okay, so after PhD in defense science, there is a possibility. For joining as a scientist in defense, DRDO, you don't require a PhD, but you should have a sound knowledge in mathematics or engineering.
Okay, now is there anyone? Sir, one more question. How can we learn research oneself? Like he was asking, how can we learn myself?
If you have the belief in you, you can do yourself. No need for a guru. If you feel that you are okay with your own knowledge system, there are several avenues online to know basics, and I wish you all the best.
So there is a question from Mrs. Vidya Patel, and she was asking, how can one choose a subject for research?
It is just as good as asking you go to a hotel. There is a buffet lunch served. How can I say for you whether you want to eat chicken or sambar, rice, vegetable fried rice? It's up to you to choose. Okay. But all that you can do is, yeah, please, Vidya Patel.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So we cannot show you. We can just lead you. The interest should come within. I cannot force you to do research in my area or probability theory or algebra. If you like algebra and if you are confident about the subject's basic foundations, definitely you can do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So there's a question from Mr. Shrayanesh Jain. He was saying how can he get a feel on subjects like analysis, to feel by his heart or something like that.
For that, it is you continuously read again and again till you say that you have understood it, and then you get a feeling which you cannot describe in words. I'm talking about beauty in mathematics. There are several people I know. What beauty is there in mathematics? Some of them feel that mathematics is very ugly. That depends on your personal choice.
One Janani has asked that she has an interest to do the research, but she's confused like how to initiate it.
I don't have a recipe for that.
Yes.
You start. You try to get into the water to learn swimming, If you are going to die, somebody will help you. So start doing research. Basically, you please read as much as you can. That's the only answer which I want to give.
Okay. Now, is there any more questions? One question from Deepanjali. So these like how to always ignite the spark of mathematics in everything you see.
Pardon?
How to ignite the spark of mathematics in everything we see. That is the question that Deepanjali had asked.
I want to take the quote from Dr. Kalam. The spark is within you. Okay. The spark is within you. Our duty is just to make it a fire. Our teachers may do. That's where you require conventional teachers, not online teachers. Okay. What will we do after passing in CSIR exam in, I couldn't read it.
There are some questions in YouTube link. I will post it here. One of them is, what will we do after passing in CSIR exam in mathematical sciences? Question from Venkadachalam Girish.
Oh, there are plenty of places where you can join for PhD. In universities, they accept CSIR net. But in university like Hyderabad, you can either choose their test or CSIR test. There is a weightage. So what I mean is, Hyderabad University doesn't admit students just because you are a CSIR JRF. They have their own test.
Dr. T.P. Shashikumar is listening to you in YouTube.
Okay.
And
my
thanks.
very good friend, my very good student and very good friend.
Thanks to sir, because he is answering many questions to you there in the YouTube comment box. Most of the questions are
answering questions.
No, he is answering most of the questions.
Very
Thank
good.
you, sir.
So thank you, Shashi. Shashi was my student in 85. I just submitted my PhD thesis in Cochin University. I was not a faculty. So my great guru, Professor Abdi, asked me to teach complex analysis. And Shashi's batch, 84-86, which is supposed to be my most favorite batch, I taught them complex analysis. And Manoj Changat, his wife, Geeta, Shashi, his wife, Radha, they were all batchmates. And I'm happy to see that Shashi is there. I will talk to you later.
Ms. Lakshmi RS is asking that whether there is any age limit for postdoctoral degree.
Postdoctoral, I don't think there is an age limit, but several institutes in India need postdoctoral research for getting an appointment. Especially national institutes like ICERs, IITs, they prefer candidates not just with PhD, but with postdoctoral experience. That's a good question.
Mr. Sanade is asking whether it is good to do postgraduate in mathematics in India or in some other foreign country.
Good question. My advice is to not to do master's program in abroad. You take a master's degree from India. In most of the countries, for example, Germany, you have to take another master's degree, MS. Some of my students have just joined German universities. But if you go abroad with a master's degree, your risk factor is less. So better, my advice is to take a master's degree, get recommendations from your professors. To get admission in the European universities, they respect Indian professors' recommendations. And best thing is to choose some very good institutes in Europe, like Germany, France, and smaller countries like Czech Republic or Slovenia, Austria. I have some at least 5 to 10 students working abroad after taking masters from Cochin University.
So there is a question from Shahul Hamid, and he was asking why there are no more Ramanujans after the great Ramanujan, and are there any scarcity of talents in India?
That's a tricky question. It is yes and no. There is a lack of talents. Now there are several opportunities, but our education system prevents in outsmarting their potential. Therefore, there are no large number of great institutions in the country. If you want to mention a few, now there is a different, like ICERs, IITs have come. But still we want, because India is approaching number 1 in the population. Therefore, youth is going to join sciences and higher studies. So we need many more such national institutes to catch young mathematicians. There are several projects, I suppose you know. One is Spirit of Ramanujan, and the other is Promise Mehta Fellowship. There are Indian students who have taken these institutes.
Mr. Sanjay Kumar is asking that he is interested in pure maths, but someone telling me there is no much more scope for research in pure maths.
That's not true.
What should I do, sir?
That is not true. There is nothing like pure mathematics and applied mathematics. You can apply pure mathematics to apply. That's what happened to Alfred Nobel when he said that I'm not going to give a Nobel Prize for mathematics. The reason that Alfred Nobel told was that, or thought, was that mathematics has no applications in sociology, in social science, which is absolutely wrong. So if Alfred Nobel comes back again, he will definitely give Nobel Prize to mathematics.
So again, Dharmendra Singh has asked a question, which is the best institute where there is no age boundaries to do BSc, MSc or PhD with fellowships?
I don't know. You should for masters, you should check IGNOU. I think IGNOU has no age bar. Indira Gandhi National Open University.
Okay.
Delhi headquarters, several branches at all the states.
So one more question is like how to relate with the math problems in our daily life. How one can relate problems with their daily life. Yeah, some question was there with King Gaming. I mean, that was a name someone has given for his profile. King Gaming.
I see. I don't know.
Yes, sir. So Mahavir Singh is asking a question. That he had completed his MSc in mathematics in 2020 at the age of 55. And he's asking how can it be useful for him?
I cannot answer such personal questions because you can ask me privately later.
Okay. Is there any more questions? Okay, I think there is no questions yet. So Sujesh, so what is next? We may go on.
Thank you, sir. It was a really interesting and informative session. Now let me invite Lieutenant Jason Jacob, convener of today's program and head of the Department of Mathematics, St. Aloysius College, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Well, thank you, Sujesh. Actually, it was like a mind-blowing day for me because the code that with which VG teacher, my teacher, had begun was that of a Galileo Galilei. And let me again say one quote that Galileo Galilei had said, like, mathematics is the language with which Lord has written this universe. And this was the quote that was there on the brochure that we typed. And after hearing today's session from Vijayakumar sir, we could feel it. He started from Mangalyaan and he went like everywhere, even to the COVID scenario also he had come, to the Google that we used in every second, like WhatsApp, whatever it is. So everything was mentioned in that particular talk. And it was indeed again, sir, we were actually happy and obliged to hear your voice and listen to your class once again after, like, for me, it is like after 10 years or 11 years. And for VG teacher, I think it will be like around 15, 16 or 17 years. Okay, so let me thank from the bottom of my heart for accepting our invitation. And actually, sir was busy attending a conference in Amrita, Coimbatore. He was there in that campus attending the conference when VG teacher had contacted him. So readily he had accepted the invitation, and he was very happy to come and talk on this particular subject. So, sir, once again, thank you very much for giving this wonderful talk. Thank you. Next, I would like to say a few sentences. Like, this was a small idea that me and VG teacher had discussed. Let us have a small session, but it went on like beyond our imagination. Actually, we planned this for a short group of people in and around Kerala, but this went like from Jammu to Trivandrum and like from Gujarat to Bengal, crisscross of India everywhere. Around 1,200 registrations were there, and I hope many had. Actually, the hosting team was very busy with denying the people, those who tried to join this Google Meet, because we can only admit like 100 or something like that. It was too busy there. Anyway, it was a wonderful session again. So next, let me thank our dear principal of St. Aloysius College, Dr. Chako Jose, for his constant support for the department, for organizing this program. And let me again thank my dear teachers, Saju sir, the head of the Department of St. Thomas College, Vijay teacher, Ranjit, and all my dear colleagues of St. Aloysius College, who have always been a source of inspiration and support for all kinds of things that we do to promote our subject, that is mathematics. And at last but not the least, it is the participants. It is the participants who registered, who took their valuable time to be a part of this program that made this a wonderful success. So thank you all for your cooperation. And it is your presence and your interest that keeps us motivating to do many more programs, which will be, of course, useful for all the students or teachers or all the well-wishers of mathematics. And I was actually very happy to see a sir who was at the age of 55, who had the patience to come over this meeting and said that he has completed his MSc at the age of 55. Anyway, salute you, sir, because even at the age of 55, you are doing such a wonderful course, even though many students are having some sort of difficulty or they are feeling lazy to do the mathematics. But at the age of 55, we have completed the MSc. It's like, it is actually a mind-blowing thought. Anyway, thank you one and all. So before I stop, let me say one more thing. There is a link, there is a Google feedback form that has been given at the chat box. So everyone who need the e-certificate have to fill the Google form carefully, because once if you submit the Google form, your e-certificate will be auto-generated. So if you make any mistake in your name, then the name of an institution, etc., that will be obtained as such. And only one response will be accepted from one account. So please be careful by filling this Google form. So thank you one and all for making this program a grand success. Thank you, sir.
So thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you
Vijay and
all.
all.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir. Take care.
Usually I don't say thanks.
Yeah, you should not say thanks to us because.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Jason, come on.
Yes, thank you, sir.